Harold Arrington.
Huxley Scott.
Homer Lewis.
Larry Westbury.
Skeeter Jenkins.
Skeeter, Harold, Huxley, and the others are just 5 of over 10,000 heart patients to have come under the care of Dr. Thomas Yeh, who pioneered open heart surgery at Memorial Medical Center shortly after he came here in 1967.
A lot of people told me I'm kind of a fool to go to Savannah.
Foolish indeed, given that Dr. Yeh also had to create post-op support care for surgery patients.
I was so afraid the patient won't do well during the night, you know. I know the surgery went well. And usually the intensive care unit, the nurse take care of that, but there was no intensive care unit then, so actually I opened the intensive care unit too and had to train the nurse. And even that, I really couldn't quite feel safe enough to go home. So I slept in the hospital, in the ICU next to the patient's bed.
I think he knew he could do it. I think he had stamina and he had determination and he knew what he very sure in what his abilities were, and I think he knew he could do it.
The component parts of a personality who could accomplish all of those things were honed in the city of Tainan, on the island of Taiwan where Yeh was born.
He tells stories about, shinning up mango trees in the neighborhood and eating raw mangoes.
Climbing mango trees was as reckless as young Tom got. His father, a physician trained in traditional Chinese herbal medicine, emphasized school to his son, who was drawn to Western scientific methodology.
A lot of the pictures that are taken of him when he was younger are him in a library with books, around him.
But just like his father, education would be the centerpiece when the boy had a family of his own. All 3 of the Yeh children are physicians.
They said the only reason you make money is to educate your children.
Dr. Yeh's early schooling was interrupted briefly when the divine wind blew from the east and across the Middle Kingdom.
They were kind of conscripted when Japan took over Taiwan. They almost starved those kids to death. Dad actually has pretty significant malnutrition scars left over from that. What I think is left from that is just a lot of determination and a lot of will to survive.
Young Tom's interpretation of survival meant finishing first in his class in medical school.
If it's worth doing it, it's worth overdoing it.
And becoming the first Taiwanese national to come to America as a physician.
That's my professor, Dr. Robert J. Ellison. He's the first guy to do open heart surgery in southeastern United States.
Really?
Yeah.
Dr. Yeh's education continued in America, first in Utah and then in Kentucky, where he met his wife Doris, who stood by him as he confronted an America not yet over the pain of World War II.
In a lot of people's eyes in this country, just because of what had happened, there was not a clear distinction between Japan, Taiwan, China, and he faced tremendous discrimination despite his academic success.
From Kentucky, his studies took him to the Medical College of Georgia, where as an intern he ran into a little girl from Springfield. Her name was Tyra, but her dad called her Skeeter. Skeeter was just 3 years old and had a hole between the chambers of her heart. Dr. Yeh's mentor, Dr. Ellison, thought he could fix that. Dr. Yeh took care of the rest.
Dr. Yeh slept in the room with me in case it did quit beating during the night, that he would be there. And my heart quit beating 7 times.
The commitment Dr. Yeh demonstrated with Skeeter traveled with him to Savannah, where his work and dedication are spoken of in hushed tones.
This man, don't misunderstand, this man is brilliant.
Larry Shelton was Dr. Yeh's right hand in surgery, the perfusionist in the OR, responsible for the heart-lung machine that keeps patients alive. He came here from Jacksonville on a trial basis.
And that 6 months turned into a 30-plus year wonderful experiment. Dr. Yeh was a workaholic and a perfectionist. And to work with him, you had to be that, or he wouldn't put up with it.
They would call Dr. Yeh 5:30 in the morning and 10:30 at night. It seemed like he was always in the hospital.
Harold Arrington's heart quit on him in 1991.
And he says, I had to beat you a little extra, but you're here.
That was 20 years ago. His daughter Elise is 11.
If it wasn't for Dr. Yeh and God, that he would not be here today.
Boy, it's beautiful today.
After he retired, Dr. Yeh took up painting in a big way.
My grandson is just getting very interested in trains, so I painted a couple of pictures of the trains for him. And he's very proud of that. He said, "Grandpa did that for me."
Not only is he gifted with color and detail,
I did it for my wife for her kitchen.
he's prodigious, filling rooms with his work.
The guy who can do 500 open heart in a year can paint up easily 500 paintings a year or more. You see.
The transition from physician to artist astonished his 3 children.
How do you have almost two separate lives? Because he went from his medical life and all the medical professionals that he worked with, and everybody who's known him forever as Dr. Ye and always calls him Dr. Ye. And then I guess 5-6 years ago I come home and he's in the art community and everybody knows him as Tom. And I love that. Not a single person knows that he was Dr. Ye. Nobody cares that he was Dr. Ye. He's Tom. Oh, this is Tom. And I love that. And the SCAD kids would come up, "This is Tom." And I was like, who are these people, you know?
By the way, this is mine.
There were hints of Dr. Ye's artistic ability long before he drug brush over canvas in his hobby room. As a part of his surgical routine, he would sketch the patient's heart along with the blockages and then refer to the drawing in the operating room.
I mean, they were complete, renditions of people's cardiac anatomy. Truer to life almost than the patient itself.
I mean, just beautiful masterpiece. Then he'd take that piece of paper down and take a piece of tape and tape it onto the IV pole, right just to the left of where he was operating, and he would use that as a road map for the coronaries.
Huxley Scott's got one of those drawings. She was only 29 and had 3 kids when a heart attack brought her to Dr. Ye's door.
And when you asked him a question, he gave you a direct answer. Because I remember my mom was concerned about whether I was going to be in pain or anything, and he pretty much said, well, you really should be concerned about whether your daughter is going to survive or not.
In 1996, Huxley had to have another surgery.
Dr. Haidari, who was I guess he was the apprentice at the time that I had my first surgery, was then the surgeon. But Dr. Ye came back. I think he was out of town. He flew back so that he could be present at my surgery because he said, I know that heart.
He knew the hearts of his children even better. Despite 500 surgeries a year, the family always ate dinner together and never resented their father spending the night in a patient's room.
And just how many people that he was able to help in some way. I think that's a profound message when you're young, and it doesn't go away easily. I mean, we were taught medicine is a service industry, so you're serving other people, you're helping other people.
Dr. Thomas J. Ye, our next honoree for healthcare.
With his preoccupation for excellence and his relentless commitment to the health of over 10,000 surgical patients, Dr. Ye has given back more than anyone could have asked, and has done so gladly and humbly.
Having such a great time, I would have done it free. Of course, I didn't tell hospital that.
I don't think he has any idea how many people love him and respect him. I think he doesn't know, which just goes along with his personality. It's not something he would ever focus on, and how grateful we are to have had and to have him as our dad.
I would like them to remember that I did my best.
Thank you, Dr. Ye.
Thank you, Dr. Ye. Thank you, Dr. Ye.
Thank you, Dr. Ye.
Thank you, Dr. Ye.